Monthly partner in brief of ongoing progress work on the shutdown of Lagos infrastructure.
Bring all the traffic into this direction.
We are going to work to ensure that it is better during the AFS traffic. If we don't support the people now, the road will collapse.
Good day and welcome to another episode of your program Infrastructure Weekly. I'm your anchor, Abosede Omowi. On the program today, we will be taking a look at some of the major infrastructure projects of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. Join us after this break.
Coming together of opportunities. This is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
there is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QoTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
We set sail today from the work sector, where the federal government has again reiterated its commitment to infrastructure development. Minister of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola disclosed this while speaking to journalists in Abuja after the Federal Executive Council meeting. He said the government will not only initiate new projects, but will also ensure upgrade for old ones.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola has disclosed that procurement is being pursued for further works on Section 2 of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway Road, which is said would equally be presented to the Council for approval when the procurement is secured. He said having approved further works on the Section 1 of the project, Council is looking to quickly conclude the procurement process for the Section 2 of the project. He said the approval, which also includes the award of Subaila, Falala, Bini Baku Bauchi Road, which connects Kano and Bauchi states at a sum of 4.578 billion naira, is a reaffirmation of the government's commitment to infrastructure development.
The second section, this was the section to Julius Berger. The second section under RCC, which covers, I think, 80 something kilometers, will come to council to incorporate similar works, including drainage works and so on and so forth, when we finish the procurement.
The minister said the new works on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is in recognition of the changing nature of the road.
Announced to you today is our response to accommodate changes that have taken place along that route from when the road was first built in the 1970s to what it is today. When it was first built in the 1970s, there were no churches, there were no mosques, there were few, if any, factories on that route. There are now universities on that road. People cross the highway, which should not be. This wasn't in the design we inherited. So we now have to do cloverleaf interchanges to help people who want to go to places of worship to get there without conflicting with traffic. We have to do pedestrian bridges for pedestrians to cross. The drainage alignment has been changed by the infrastructure that has been built on the road. So we now have to do controlled drainage to move water to the river bodies, particularly Ogun River, that bisects that road.
According to the minister, the first section is handled by Julius Berger. The second section under RCC, which covers over 80 kilometers, will come to the council to incorporate similar works, including drainage works, when the procurement is completed.
And the road will collapse.
Thanks for staying tuned. For your comments, feedback and inquiries, you can get in touch with us on the social media handles scrolling on your screen. Works has reached an advanced stage on the eastern and western Kaduna bypass, and this, according to commuters, is a source of joy and has eased travel time around the area while also creating employment opportunities for youth around the area. Let's take a listen to the state of work done so far.
The Kaduna Eastern Bypass Road project in Chukum local government area is about 58.5 kilometers, including 10 kilometers spur to Raba Road. The construction work, which ought to have been completed in 2007, had been slowed down as a result of poor funding. But with the intervention of the Buhari-led administration, the project is to be completed soon. Structure in the nation, especially through prompt funding of road projects.
What we want to do here is to expand the width of road to carry more passengers, allow more freer movement, strengthen local and international trade, and the contractor has undertaken now that since funding has improved, he should complete 45 kilometers of the additional new lane.
Work on the road is ongoing after the Federal Executive Council approved additional 22 billion naira for the completion of the Kaduna Eastern Bypass on February 22, 2017. The minister, while inspecting the project in Kaduna, says President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is determined to complete the project on or before 2019. He says the administration is committed to improving the nation's infrastructure and economy.
The money that was released for the Sukuk in December, this is it. These are all the aggregates. Now, where does it end up? If you turn your cameras that way, just turn your cameras that way, you will see that's a batching plant where they mix it up. Okay? Now, if you then turn this way, you will see what they have produced with it. So, this is man and machine, man hours, daily, labor, income. So, this is how the economy works. So, the money doesn't end in the ministry. Once it's paid to the contractor, it doesn't end with him too. He pays to the people in the quarry. They produce this, they transport it, they bring it back here. That's when it's useful. You see all the rings that have been cast. They were made from sand, rocks, cement, iron rod. So this is the construction ecosystem that we need you to understand and also to help disseminate. This is how the economy really works.
The Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Barnabas Bala, added that the Eastern Bypass would open the city and scale up economic activities and developments.
And the road will
Join us after this break for a look at the power sector. Stay tuned. Now to the issue of estimated billing, which has become a sort of albatross for most Nigerians who complain daily on the payment for power they never used. This phenomenon, according to experts, is one that has cast a cloud over the sector. Now, the federal government has put in place measures to address the issue. Let's take a listen to how these measures are being put in place to put a stop to these unhealthy developments.
The power sector controversy between the distribution companies and consumers was as a result of inappropriate charges arising from estimated billings that have bedeviled the sector over the years. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government since inauguration in 2015 through the Ministry of Power Works and Housing has been making efforts to rebuild and regulate the power sector for the benefit of Nigerians. This became evident with the approval of 39 billion naira loan to electricity distribution companies for the supply of meters in order to curb issues of estimated billings.
We hope that we can rapidly address the metering problems and reduce problems of estimated billing.
The level of electricity consumption is determined by the meter, a device that measures the amount of energy used by a residence or a business. According to 2016 data from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, over 3 million of the 7.47 million customers nationwide have prepaid meters, meaning that only 45% of customers have access to them. Efforts by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration through its Ministry of Power Works and Housing to aid the use of prepaid meter will end issues surrounding estimated billings.
What metering will do is, one, it will reduce the incidence of estimated billing. So consumer outcry will go down, because once you are metered, for instance, if they give prepaid, it can be postpaid or prepaid. If you are giving prepaid meter and you see what you use, you pay for only what you use. If it's a postpaid meter, they give you your bill, you know that they read your meter, they took your meter reading, you compare that reading with what is on your bill, you should be willing to pay. If you don't pay, you'll be cut off. So it will be easier. There will now be external other companies that will supply and maintain, supply and install meters, of course maintain it too, with the active participation and cooperation of the discos. Because for you to bring a meter to my network, I also need to open up my back door ICT customer database and all those things for you. So we need to work together in partnership.
To bridge the enormous metering gap, the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the federal government had concluded plans to involve more Nigerians in meter manufacturing, pointing out that the measure would reduce the pressure on electricity distribution companies on meter supply. This has made it imperative for the management of all electricity distribution companies to promote and patronize local meter manufacturers to meet up with the demands of consumers.
This new MAP regulation is aimed at resolving the metering issue. So I can only say that, yes, if it is properly done, it will go a long way in reducing the metering gap. It will make things better. It will enable us to have more meters for our numerous customers. The federal government is making commendable effort to ensure that there is increase in power supply, to ensure that there will be meters, to ensure that our network will be upgraded. So the effort generally is good. We're just hoping and praying that we get to the promised land.
Nigerians also share their views on the effectiveness of prepaid meters in regulating power supply while condemning estimated billings, saying it is a means of exploiting people.
The estimated bill, you end up paying what you have not used. But the prepaid meter is even better.
It's quite effective. If we can get it deployed and the electricity supply will be improved, you know, the revenue generation will also improved.
As stakeholders of the power sector, including GENCOs, DISCOs, and regulators, collaborate to ensure electricity meters are read periodically to establish billing cycles for consumers to get good services. People who want improvements to take place should be ready to pay for it.
It is the interest of this country for us to generate enough electricity. To do that requires a lot of money, a lot of effort. Even when we start a new project, it will take time. This current federal government came into power at a time the cost of oil, which is our major source of revenue, had gone down by less than half of what it used to be. There was a time in this country when oil was as much as $120 per barrel. and then it came to $42. It even came to $38 at the time. When you have that, what it means is that the income of the country has reduced to less than half. So what such government will be able to do from their income will have gone down to less than half. So you can't have everything you need. What happened to the previous government? What did they do? They abandoned it. So when the government is making a good effort, we have to support that. And for there to be electricity in Nigeria, we should stop blaming government or people in government or even the operators they load. It involves all of us.
With speed implementation of the various measures put in place by the Ministry of Power Works and Housing, the electricity sector as a major catalyst for economic activities and growth is already playing its role in the interest of national development. Folorunso Adegoke, Core TV News, Abuja.
For comments, inquiries, and feedback, join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Infrastructure Weekly and at infra_weekly at twitter.com. Join us after this break for a look at the level of work done on the National Housing Program in both Edo and Cross River State. Don't go away.
Coming together of opportunities. And this is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
there is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television, Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and Core TV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Infrastructure Weekly, where we x-ray the achievement of the Buhari administration in the area of infrastructure development. In the housing sector, what is referred to as the silent revolution is ongoing. The initiative, known as the National Housing Program, is currently on in 33 states of the Federation. I'm representing to you today the Edo and Cross River State leg of the project and how it has helped in empowering the local communities.
Artisans and suppliers at the National Housing Site in Cross River and Akwa Ibom State are getting more empowered through the Affordable Housing Program aimed at providing affordable houses for Nigerians across all social strata. With adequate funding of the projects by the Muhammadu Buhari administration, job opportunities are springing up in various aspects of constructions and many citizens are benefiting from the building works. Some of those who are tapping into this opportunity created by this program in an interview with Infrastructure Weekly says federal government is activating various latent business areas for the common man.
Yeah, they helped me so much. I supply stone and chip and sand. It makes me develop my business over there at home. My small supply at home there. Make me develop more.
Obong Aaron, who's one of the laborers, says before now he had nothing doing. However, following the activities around the area makes a daily income from which he's building his own house and caring for his family.
Yeah, I built small bungalow house in my village.
With this project?
From this project? Yes. Wonderful. Yes, a 2-bedroom flat.
In which town?
In Akwa Ibom State.
In Akwa Ibom State?
Yes.
The National Housing Program is being handled by various contractors. This visit by the Ministry of Power Works and Housing is to monitor the progress of the project in Calabar in Cross River State. The project on this axis involves the construction of houses, roads, drains and electricity supply with 500 kVA transformers to provide a comfortable estate for human habitation as the government fulfills its promise of change which comes gradually across the country.
The project as provided by the federal government the purpose is basically to reduce, to provide houses for the people of Nigeria, particularly that this is sited in Cross River State to alleviate the housing problem. The project comprises of the condominium, which is a high-rise that has a house about 24 housing units of 1-bedroom flat, 3-bedroom flat, and 2-bedroom flat. Then we also have the 2-bedroom flat, semi-detached, which we have about 32 flats. Then we also have the 3-bedroom flat housing unit, which will have about 16 flats.
In a project like this that the government deem it right to be sited in a particular place, at least it's a development. And I give kudos to the federal government for that. It improves the living standard of the people.
Ofan Umbok is a person living with disability, but since the inception of the National Housing Site in the Court Nguyen, African Inset area of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, she has been selling varieties of food to workers on the site.
Whatever she sells, she takes it back to the market and buy more. So that is the way she's been keeping up in the business. And she's making a lot of money from it.
The construction work consists of 24 units of 3-story condominium road, water and electricity projects with employment rate of about 1,000 skilled and unskilled workers. The completion stage is at 60%.
We have been working steadily since the project started. As you can see, the infrastructure is ongoing. Some of the houses are almost completed. We have the house at different stages of completion, and behind us we have the condominium. The condominium consists of 24 units of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. And also we have some units for the disabled, the wheelchair bound. So we have the ramps, the big doors, and units that are specifically built for the wheelchair bound.
In fact, it's a very nice project. It's a very nice thing the federal government initiated, and I'm believing this is a change we have been gramming for, and I'm very much happy because if you come in here, right from the main road here, there's going to be a change. And I know very much sure the government we have today will be able to even make a road that will make sure the whole of this place will open.
Youths in Akwa Ibom appreciate the efforts of this present administration towards reducing unemployment rate, while the team leader says the project is promoting local content across the country.
This project has been a good one. It has been a project that has bring so much clear development to my community, the youth. In fact, food vendors and other people have benefited so much. More than 1,000 people have been coming from different places outside my community, neighboring village, to work in this place. And by the grace of God, they have been benefiting so much on this great project.
Most of the products we use here are products that are manufactured in Nigeria, and then the labor, all the artisans are from this environment. So the contractors don't bring artisans from outside. So in fact, the youth are occupied, they are employed since the inception of these projects. You have women, you have youth, you have different types of artisans. They don't come from other places. They source them from this locality. And then we try as much as possible to patronize our Nigerian products.
The Ministry of Power, Works and Housing through this project had empowered the community by providing many employment opportunities to laborers, food and drink sellers, suppliers, change agenda, with a promise to continue to build on successes already recorded in the change agenda of this government.
That wraps it up on today's episode of the program. Before we go, let's continue the conversation on Twitter at infra_weekly at twitter.com and on facebook.com/infrastructure weekly. Lastly, pay your tax and continue to support the infrastructure agenda of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. I am your anchor, Abosedi Omowi. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
We are going to work to ensure that